here we are again, this week's Tuesday tip. Now, we all understand that the thrust from the back leg is an important factor for making power for your punch. You thrust with your back leg, and that power goes right from the leg through your body, finalizing at the actual point of the punch. But I've got a little tip for you. Let's go back to your first lesson where thrust was discussed. What you did was, you stood facing the front, your feet facing the front, your knees facing the front, your hips facing the front, your body facing the front, as a normal body is constructed. You compress, you keep your heels flat, and you thrust with the one leg and the other leg goes forward. Okay. Very easy. Everything in alignment. Then as you advance, you understand the importance of the thrust even more, especially when you're fighting, to make a real impact. So you learn fighting stance, and you get into fighting stance. But let's have a look at that back leg, the one you're going to thrust with. Where is it facing? It's facing there. But where's your opponent? Your opponent's there. So if I thrust with this leg, in actual fact, the power is going there. So how do we rectify this? Now, what I'm going to show you is very easy to understand, but will take a lot of practice because you've got to virtually remold your body. What you need to be able to do is turn that back thigh to the front, exactly as you were when you were in this position here. Compress, both feet facing the direction of your opponent, knees facing the direction of your opponent, thighs facing the direction of your opponent. But of course, now we have the aspect of hanmi. Your hips are at an angle. Now, what happens when your hips go at an angle? It's natural for the leg to also go at an angle. So what we've got to do now is learn how to create torsion in the hips. In other words, the hip turns this way, but the thigh turns this way. And it creates torsion in the hip, just like if you took a piece of elastic and rolled it this way, and you roll it this way. You'd get it bunched up in the middle, ready to, if you release one side, to unravel itself. That's what you're doing with your hip. So, what I suggest you do is you work on rotating the leg inwards at the same time as rotating the hip outwards, creating that torsion in the hips. Now when you thrust, look how everything is aligned on your opponent. And you still have the hanmi position to change to shoman, angle position to change to front facing, with centrifugal power, rotation power. So in other words, if I'm going to thrust from this position here, everything is in alignment. I thrust and at the same time put my hip in. But all my power was directed there. So your job, tip of the week, work on being able to maintain the thigh front facing even when the hip is angled. You'll find a tremendous difference in the impact of your punch by correct usage of the legs. Well, next week another one. Thank you.